Hey friends, full reactions in the link in the description below, so pause, leave a like, really helps the channel, subscribe, and come back after you watch the reaction for the discussion. Give you some time to do that. Review and commentary starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Infinite 100%, guys. Infinite. I kind of wanted to see it last a little longer, but it's just so powerful that Deku finishes Overhaul pretty quickly once he really gets going. At first, he was like, huh? I used 100% by accident, but I'm not broken? He's so silly. Deku's hilarious. But then the fists raining down from above, it looked like the fists of God. And I mean, is this what Deku will be like in the future? Just completely overpowering, too fast to even see. And then the look on his face when he delivers that final blow, it's kind of terrifying, honestly. We've seen glimpses of his recklessness and his just not rage, but heightened emotional states before. But I mean, the look in his eyes when he faced off against Todoroki in the sports festival was one thing, but the way he came bearing down on Overhaul, his eyes, just really, really terrifying. And I mentioned to a friend that his mindset is kind of like, I will break as many bones as I can so long as some of them are yours. And wow, Deku was just, we've seen a side of him heightened like we've never seen it before. And then Eri's power, just rewinding. It's not destruction at all, but she's made to believe that it's been a curse all along, that it only brings people pain. This poor girl might not even understand that her quirk is rewinding things, right? And this quirk could really be a true gift. Like, there's no end to the amount of good that she could accomplish with this quirk if she learns how to harness it well, if she wants to, of course. But she's a very kind-hearted girl. Seeing Mirio's cape, none of this could have happened without her. Like, none of this was possible without her reaching out, activating her quirk, and getting to Deku. And she knew that they wouldn't stop, that the heroes wouldn't stop trying to get her back no matter what, and that she had to let them help her, that she had to help them help her, and at least give them the best possible chance to save her. And she trusted in Mirio and in Deku, the way she clung to Mirio's cape with her little hands, and then rewinding Overhaul to separate him from the hand mouth guy, confession guy, and her jumping into Deku's arms, the music, the emotion, just what a wonderful, wonderful moment. And then Deku just disappeared when Overhaul went after him. I was just like, oh yeah, that's way faster than 20%. Like, what's going on here? Did you just break your leg? Not fully understood everything just yet. And yeah, we saw Night Eye watching from the ground. I was just wondering what was going on through his mind, because he must know what Deku is capable given that he has one for all, but he also saw Overhaul killing Deku with his foresight, so... and then we had Uraraka completely drained, just still trying to get up there somehow to help him, completely collapses. There was just so much despair in her eyes when she just sunk to the floor, and I'm glad that Deku will be able to come home to her. Just admit your feelings for him already, like, you never know when your last chance for that might be, right? And Deku, 100 feet up in the air, just Eri holding on tight, Mirio's cape draped around him like he's wearing it himself. That is a really cool sight to see. And Eri took a look at Deku's face and he was smiling so wide. I think this is the first time he really, really fully embodied what it meant to be the symbol of peace. And it was really nice to see. But yeah, just thinking about Mirio and Deku both showing Eri nothing but a smile, even in the most dire of times. It's really, really, yeah, consoling. And then we had Deku's barrage. So many punches. And then that final punch just knocks off Overhaul's mask. And yeah, immediately after Overhaul was finished, I was just like, the Patrick meme, like, do you know the one, like, let's take this and put it over there. I was like, let's take Eri and put her right there with Night Eye, heal his wounds, and like Mirio, give back his quirk. And yeah, with some time to relax after this episode, I started to realize with enough control, she could rewind All Might so that his stomach injury doesn't exist, that it never happened. And so, I mean, she could rewind him to when he was young again, which, I mean, it's basically an immortality quirk if she were to choose to use it that way, right? We haven't seen her rewind herself yet. Otherwise, she might have rewound herself out of existence. But um, yeah, if it works on other people, at the very least, I guess if she can't make herself young again, she can't make other people young forever. But um, yeah, there are some old characters out there that she could make as good as new, as if they're just newborn or they're in their prime or anything. Um, and I don't think she can rewind him to a point where he didn't give Deku the quirk yet. Like, theoretically, yes, the logic is there for her to give One for All back to him, but it feels like One for All follows special rules, and that wouldn't work. It feels like more like the Avatar, where only one can exist at a time. I mean, All Might still had the embers, the fading embers of One for All, but it didn't exist in both of them at the same time. On the other hand, with that said, would she be able to restore people whose quirks were stolen by All for One? Um, and it also makes me wonder what would have happened if All for One was the one who got his hands on her and stole her quirk. I think we'd be completely boned because in that fight against All Might, he stacked so many versions of the same quirk together to make them extremely powerful. So with Aries' quirk, he could rewind somebody backwards so that they have a quirk again, steal it, and then rewind over and over and over again to continue stacking the same quirk to make it so overpowered. Or he could just have an army, make an army, and just have however many copies of quirks that he wants them to. Um, and now that Deku saved her, I feel like we need to keep her safe because I have to imagine she'll be a target at some point due to the nature of her quirk and how overpowered it is. Because it could, in essence, heal All for One's wounds, couldn't he? And then he would be back in full force. Oh man! And yeah, I also wonder if there are any news agencies that we're watching and recording because Deku could become quite famous. Like, not many characters in this universe is are capable of the amount of power and speed that he just put on display. Um, it could be very life changing for him if people were recording. We also learned a lot about Chisaki's motives. We learned a lot of different things about his motives. But he mentions two different sets of ideals. Because during the fight with Deku, he says he wants to wipe quirks from existence to cure this diseased world. But during the flashback, he said he could sell quirk canceling bullets to villains and quirk restoring bullets to heroes and have a monopoly on the whole world. Have the Shia Hasaikai have a strong grip on everything. So at what point did his goal change, or did it change, and he's not just not being clear with what he wants? I don't know. Um, what made him start to see quirks as a disease that needed to be cured instead of just wanting to control everything through the Shia Hasaikai? And the flashbacks, seeing him put the leader into a serious condition, and now that he's been caught, he won't be able to heal him. He won't be able to destroy and put him back together. Seeing him cut into Eri, who is the granddaughter of the boss. I mean, he was doing this for his own sake. He just doesn't realize it. He's thinking that he wants to help the boss by making the Shie Hasaikai all powerful again, but that's not even what the boss wants. The boss would never have wanted his granddaughter to suffer like that. But yeah, overall, really, really powerful episode. I went to 11 with the mirror episode, and this was spectacular, but I'm going to give it a 10.5. It's still really, really good. I've only broken my scale like 3 times in my entire YouTube career, not just for this show, like just in general. I've only gone above my scale 3 times. So yeah, it's still a great, great finish to this arc. But yeah, Mirio, I just want my pure golden boy to be back to normal. I want him to know that Deku was successful in saving Eri, because he's still like behind a wall thinking Eri went back to Overhaul. Like, someone tell him she's okay, that we saved her, please. I'm guessing we'll still have an episode to deal with the fallout of all of this, but what an incredible arc. My favorite so far, easily. In large part due to Mirio and seeing Deku wield all One for All to its full potential. Actually, it's probably not to his full potential. Like, he's using all the power, but he himself has not mastered his body. He has not mastered any fighting styles. He could be extremely different when the time comes. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how this all continues, what arc will be next. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really enjoyed this. Leave a like, really helps with the channel. And we're 1 week ahead over on Patreon in the early reaction tier and 3 weeks early at the full reaction tier. So yeah, check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, friends.